This is Amish Elvis, and what do I do at 1:25 in the morning? I'm going to make some cookies. And I'll show you how I do my chocolate chip cookies, step by step. You'll follow at home. Now, first thing first, before you do anything, you need to preheat the oven. We want it at 325 degrees. Also, you will want to get a couple of cookie sheets. I have a couple here. You spray them with Pam, or if you use parchment, you want to get parchment and put on the cookie sheets. Also, you will need 1.5 sticks of butter. You can use it either salted or unsalted. They need to be melted, and also warm enough after it's melted. You don't want it hot, you don't want it cold, but just warm. You can do it different ways. You can melt it either on the stove or in the microwave for a few seconds at a time. To save some time, I'm going to use the microwave. Now for the dry ingredients, we will need 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour. And we will add to the flour 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. At this time, you can add some salt. You can add 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. I never use salt for anything I bake. I just think we have too much salt as it is in our diets. But if you use salt, use salt. This would be where you would add it to the flour and the baking soda. Then you would whisk and set aside. Now for our next ingredients, we're going to add them together and mix them together. We're going to use 1/2 cup. This is 1/2 cup of white, just regular white granulated sugar. Then we want to add 1 cup of either light or brown sugar. It doesn't really matter which one that you want to use. I'm using the light brown though for this one. 1 cup, and you want to make sure it's packed. I forgot to say, but this is a different bowl than it has the flour in it. And this is also where we will add the melted butter. Again, it is warm. It is not hot butter. It is not cold butter, but it is melted. And now we're going to mix it together. And now if you have a standing mixer, this would be ideal. I just have a hand mixer. I'm going to mix until it is thoroughly mixed and incorporated. I should say on the medium speed. And now we will beat in. We're going to beat in 1 large egg plus 1 egg yolk. And also we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract as well. There's a 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. And here's the vanilla extract. Again, we will return to mixing these together. Now it's time to add the flour and the baking soda, and if you added salt, this is where that bowl would be added to this mix. I like to do a little bit at a time. I don't like to do it all at the same time. So again, this will be on low. Just put the rest in. Also, this is where we will add the chocolate chips. I'm making chocolate chips. This is the same time where we will do that. And after you're done beating the flour in, that's when you will, by hand, manually, incorporate the chocolate. And if you see any flour bits, we'll just collect it and keep baking your batter. And at this point, the hard part is already done. What you're looking at, this will be the cookies. There's nothing else to add. After this is all mixed together, that's when we will start putting it on the cookie sheets. And at this point, this is when we start making our cookie size that we want. You can use spoons, you can use measuring spoons, you can just use your hands. You can make them as big or as small as you want. But whatever you do, you want to make sure you put about 2.5 inches room in between each cookie. Pretty big, so you won't be making as many. If you make them smaller, of course you're going to have more end result. Now I have 9 on this cookie sheet. If I made them smaller, I can probably put on a dozen, I would say. This is going to be pretty big. And now we're going to put it in. The oven is already at 325. Now we're going to put it in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes. We'll start at 15. If it needs a little bit more, we'll go a couple more minutes or whatever. Right now we're going to put it in for 15 minutes. Now as the first batch is baking, we'll go ahead and prepare the second cookie sheet with the cookies. Now what do I do when I'm waiting for the cookies to bake for 15 minutes or so? I read a book from my friend who wrote it. He wrote this book. It's called The Great, Grand, Glorious Scheme of Things. My friend Bill Kempen wrote this. Turn this around. There's a handsome devil right there. I may do a book review. Amish do read. And what this is just a little page and a half, just little observations of life. It's a humorous way of looking at things, and there's some chuckles in here. So I do recommend this. I mean, I'm not done with it yet, but I know I will recommend this because usually when I watch comedies, they don't make me laugh. You know, I watch something supposed to make me laugh, it's just not funny. This is actually funny. The Great, Grand, Glorious Scheme of Things, you can find it on Amazon.com or BillKempen.com as well. And it's worth your money if you like comedy. Now what we're really looking for here, we're looking for browned edges. And also the size, you know, around the cookie. As long as it looks like it's going to lift up, that there is good. And you can see how big these are. Again, if you make them smaller, you can have more on a cookie sheet. But you can just see it's going to have crackles on the outside, which is very good. These are supposed to be chewy chocolate chip cookies, and they will be. I'm just going to inspect them a little closer. If they need to go back in for a minute, then I shall do that, but I'm going to be looking around the edges. Maybe about 30 more seconds in the oven, and we'll be done. The first batch of cookies are done. Just let them rest for a little bit. And if again, I used light brown sugar. If you used dark brown sugar, the cookie would be darker. I used light brown sugar, so that's why it's a little bit lighter. You see all that chocolate chunks. Everything looks good. Looks very good. And you seen I wasn't really perfect when I put the balls of dough on the cookie sheet. But you see how it turned out. It's imperfect, but this is what you want. I mean, if you want perfect, then you want a machine. I'm not a machine. You don't want machines to be making this. A whole lot better when a person does it. So I have the second sheet in the oven. It's on about 14 more minutes till it is done. We'll let this rest maybe about 5 minutes, and we'll transfer it. And maybe another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we'll give one a shot. We'll eat one. I'm sure it will taste great. Before I move the cookies over to the kitchen table and sit down, I just want to show off a little bit of the kitchen table. My dad made this. It's one of the really good things that he did while he was alive. He took pride in his woodworking. He liked to make what you see, tables, nightstands. He made candlestick holders. He made cabinets. Just a lot of different things. He had the bug, you know, like I got for photography. That's what he had it for his wood workshop. So I'm going to put the cookies down here on the table. I'm just going to transfer them to a plate. I don't have racks. I don't have metal racks, so I just put them on another plate. so they can set and cool. Close up of a couple of them. Doesn't that look beautiful? Now on all the cooking shows at the end they always eat what they make. So I'll show you that this actually don't look too bad. The front and the back. The bottom. It's not burnt at all. No, cookies are never burnt. You follow this recipe how I made it, you will not burn your cookies. Lord have mercy. Here's how chewy it is. It's not hard at all. Soft and chewy, just like I want it. So I'll finish off those two cookies with a glass of milk, and I will call it a night. So this is Amish Elvis. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. I will have the recipe, the ingredients at the end of the video. As always, thank you very much, and I do love you.